I'm here at the far end of the San Antonio Botanical Garden, and this is a little amphitheater here, and they set up a giant chessboard. We've had a lot of wind lately, so those got blown over. But this is the spot of the aquifer of old the above ground water cistern for old ground San Antonio. So there was a drought in the 1870s, and they didn't know that they were basically sitting on a small Great Lake, and they didn't know how an aquifer worked at the time. If they would have just dug their wells down another 20 or 25 feet, they would hit water again. So the well-meaning civic planners, much like the ones we have now, decided to build an above-ground water holding area. Now, most of downtown was the high point of old downtown San Antonio. So just over that hill, it went down and dropped into a thing called the San Pedro River. So, water towers are put up on top of hills to use the pressure to push the water through pipes. I'd be surprised how many people don't actually know that. Hotels normally have a large water holding tank way up there, so they turn the motors on to get initially pump it up there. They want to keep the motors on all the time, so they fill 20 or 30,000 gallon drums of water, and they only have to fill them a couple of times a day, rather than keeping a motorizing the pressure the entire time. So this was an open air cistern. Now the soil's washed into it a lot. It was 15 feet deeper than what you see here, and there was a typhoid outbreak. So you had this open air water that was stagnant, and typhoid got into it. So, and then there was a big rain. The rain overfilled it. It went over the sides and into the San Pedro River. Well, there was an outbreak there. The San Pedro River doesn't actually even exist anymore. They diverted it and filled it in, and it was a tributary of the San Antonio River, and they just cut that part off, filled it in, and blocked where it was coming in. But the San Pedro River, people would get baptized in there. They'd get their drinking water from there. And anyway, there was a big typhoid outbreak because of that. And there was really no reason for it. Like I said, if they would have just dug down their wells 20 more feet, they would have struck water again. Reason I'm doing this is November 1st, 2019. Much like the well-meaning planners of San Antonio, the well-meaning planners in California are fixing to run into last summer they had typhus outbreaks. They've already had typhoid outbreaks, and I'm predicting as it gets a little cooler, maybe in a month or so, they'll start having plague outbreaks. Now, not a lot of people know this, but the biggest outbreak of bubonic plague happened in LA County in 1924-1925. About 500 people died of it. And the only reason it didn't spread more is because public transportation, there wasn't even that many cars back then in 1925. Now you've got people that can get sick and jump on a plane and transmit it. So how does bubonic plague come out? Well, there's fleas on rats, and the rats get a little cold. Now, it doesn't get that cold in Southern California, but it gets a little bit cool, and the rats start walking over the top of people that are sleeping on the streets. And right now, LA County has 300,000 homeless people living in encampments. There's feces everywhere, which breeds other problems for them. But there'll be a bubonic plague outbreak there, and their homeless population will rapidly be destroyed. I'm predicting them to lose 100,000 homeless people within a 2-year period from bubonic plague. Anyway, thank you. I'm out.